Hey, what's up everyone? So we are going to talk today about the Aurorian drops and pretty much the only reason to be up in Auroria right now. And this is part of the reason why everyone was really pissed off about the launch and how it went is because Auroria only serves two purposes. One is to land grab for the castles and the houses, and then after that, the only other thing to do, the absolutely only thing to do up there is to mob, just endlessly grind mobs, looking for these special Auroria drop items. And these are extremely cool items. So unfortunately, let's get this down here, so you can take a look at them. These items, there's gear for leather, cloth, and plates, but really the type of gear doesn't really even matter. What you're looking at here is the effect, the equip effect. So in this piece of gear right here, it decreases the cast delay on sleep, on lassitude, the witchcraft skill by 50%. So these do special bonus effects. See, this one increases the duration of Insidious Whisper by 0.5 seconds. So you can customize your toon or hero however you really want now by increasing certain different skills that you use and like make a super buff hero this way. So if you have like a tank build, but then you have Octalism and then you have like archery in there, you can get all the gear here in Auroria that will actually kind of increase different skills. There's a gear, a piece of armor for almost every skill out there currently. Of course, there are going to be a few that don't have any, but for the most part, you can see there are many different types of, effects, and they all have to do with different skills. So there's about, probably 100 to 200 armor pieces, different combinations. They have different names. They're all Auroria. And then there's something, Auroria something. So this is Auroria Soulbane, which means it's typically a Octalist type weapon, armor, accessory piece. And then up here we have the Heartbound, which this is typically going to be Vitalism. Then we have the Beldam, which is typically going to be like witchcraft stuff. We have Hellbents. So there's several different names, and you're going to want to try and gather as many of these guys as possible that works with your class, because you could, like I said, you can min and max all your different skills. So like here, this increases summon crows by +1 meter. Not too great, but maybe your build is all about that. So however you really want to customize your character, you can do it. And there are some extremely valuable armor pieces in here because there are some buffs that on a lot of skills that everyone just like absolutely has to have. Like right now, Rangers are pretty much considered OP, overpowered. So there are some things in here that increase the damage output of endless arrows by 10%, and that piece of armor and gear is insanely expensive. I've only seen it like once on the auction house. For the archers, they typically are the Wildborn sub category, and you can see right here, increase the duration of intensity by 5 seconds, and that's actually pretty big. Intensity, if I recall correctly, I don't think I have it on here, but intensity, I do. So intensity is the final skill that you get, and it increases the range critical rate for 15 seconds. So that armor piece right there adds another 5 seconds. So that's a 33% increase there in time, and now you're, critical rate is gone up for another 5 seconds, which is huge. And it also grants additional bloodlust for every basic bow attack, toxic shot, piercing. So this is a huge boost. Again, 33% boost on that item right there, and that is a very expensive piece of gear. So right now, not many people know about the Aurorian gear. They're not necessarily farming, and if they are farming, not many pieces of gear are coming out. These are very rare, though. We'll go back over here to the Wildborn one, and you can see they are in the hundreds of golds. Even it doesn't even matter if it's a green piece, because you're really just buying it for the effect. So here we have the guards, the Wildborn guards. And you can see it increases the duration by 5 seconds. It is currently up here for 349 gold, and there's a bid price of 289. So this is already guaranteed to sell at 289, and there's 45 minutes left. It might sell for 340. It might go a little bit higher. You can see how expensive, and this to me is definitely well worth it. If you are a hardcore ranger build, you want to have an additional 5 seconds on that skill. Makes a huge difference. Now going down here, Promise. So you're like the Aurorian Promise type armors, or typically the shadow play stuff. And so in there, you're going to see a lot of great things. You're going to see the backflip. They haven't updated it, so Endless Arrows is actually in the Promise category. So if you're looking for something to boost Endless Arrows, the archery skill now, it's going to be under the Promise armors, because back in the day, Endless Arrows used to be a shadow play skill, not an archery skill. So these are all actually like kind of like pre 1.2 or 1.7 when they changed everything. Don't know exactly. So you're going to have to just kind of read everyone. So this is a pretty big one here as well. 15% increase to Dahuda's Breath Witchcraft skill. This is the level 50 Witchcraft skill. It's a pretty damn strong skill on its own. And now if you're boosting it an additional 15%, nice damage output there. So as we keep going up, you see the prices get higher. So here's one for the Shadow Play. Increase the range of Shadow Step by plus 3 meters. I'm not too familiar on that skill, but it is expensive. And Shadow Play is one of the most common skills in any build, so it's probably going to be a very useful skill. There's also a decrease the cooldown of Teleportation, which is huge, 4 seconds. A nice reduction there. We have increased Shadow Play Rapid Strike damage, 10%. So pretty much any skill that you want is here. So here's one for Sorcery. Sorcery is typically going to be the Mystic category. And this one right here decreases Freezing Arrow cast time by 10%. So a nice little decrease there. There are some ones that are very, very expensive for increasing Arc Lightning's damage by 10%. That one is a very, very expensive armor piece. There's also one that decreases the cast time of Arc Lightning I've seen. So there's a lot of cool things. And one of the most expensive pieces that I could imagine here is something that I actually picked up a few days ago. And it's this one right here, Aurorian Soulbane Gloves. It increases the damage of Mana Stars by 10%, which is huge. I mean, Mana Stars is considered to be the highest DPS skill in the game, and you can actually move with it too. So this is a huge increase. 10% bonus damage on Mana Stars is just, this piece of gloves right here is pretty much priceless. And I was actually really, really lucky, and I think I found it for like 100 gold or so. So you have to keep an eye out. You can find good deals, and you can actually make a lot of money on this stuff if you actually know the market value of some of these gears. And if you find, say, like this one, if the Soulbane Gloves was up on the auction house for 100 gold, I would definitely swoop that up and buy it, and then I could probably sell it for like 700 or 800 gold. I mean, somewhere around there. So this, I mean, to me, this is worth more than 800 gold because I love Mana Stars, no question about it. But I mean, it's only worth what someone else is going to pay for it. And so 10% boost on Mana Stars, it may be worth 500, 700, 800 gold. But these things are very, very expensive because they are very, very hard to farm. It's like a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting a drop, and you don't know what type of drop you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get cloth, leather, or plate. Supposedly, some people say that certain mobs drop plate, certain mobs drop cloth, certain mobs drop leather. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. I don't have any information on that. So I would love to know if you guys know anything about that. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, and happy hunting up in Auorira for these gears. And yeah, keep your eye out for them. They're very, very valuable.